What's up, everybody? Welcome to Blade Talk. So good to be back to Blade Talk. Wish I was still in Florida doing Blade Talk, but that's another story for another day. But happy to be here with you guys. We're going to bring all our guests into the room. I mean, obviously Scab, and then we'll bring KC in. But before we get started, guys, don't forget our veterans. I'm calling it hashtag 22 a day no more. Don't forget about the big raffle that's coming in with Mission 22. Scab is going to fill you in on all those details. That's coming in very soon. But vets, there's a place for you here. Thank you for your service. And there's a number in the description of all our videos, Blade Talk, everything for some people that can help you if you're in trouble. So without further ado, let me bring my partner in crime here, Mr. Scab.
Good evening. Scab. Hey, buddy. Hey, guys, I'm sorry. We're running behind because of me. Note to self, no more Wednesday nights. I forgot I had to do the damn church. So I left work, went to the haunted ass church, hauled ass. Thank God for Megatron. So thank y'all for being here. Appreciate y'all. Listen, guys, I'm excited about this one. The guy that we're going to bring in, Joe's already said it's Casey from Knives Fast. The guy we're bringing in is one of my favorite YouTubers. He's got a knife he's designed. He's going to tell us all about it. Thank you guys for being here. So, Joe, without any further ado, let's bring in Casey.
Man, that music's got me amped up now, man. That open music. Look at that.
It's off the walls.
Thanks, Scab, and thank you very much for having me on a Wednesday. My schedule's been a little crazy trying to get this knife out there and really trying to get more recognition and more people knowing that it's out there available. And appreciate you guys fitting me in and doing that.
Glad to do it, man.
Absolutely.
Glad to do it.
Absolutely.
Joe, why don't we do this? Casey's a little better with the comment section than I am. But here's what I want to do, Casey and Joe as well. I want to ask you some questions about your knife.
Yep.
And then I want to give you a few minutes, and Joe, I ask you a few, but then I want to give you a few minutes just to kind of do your thing with it. Up front, who's making it for you?
QSP in China is making it. They did a phenomenal job with the prototypes, and there you go. Joe's got it up there. They did a absolutely phenomenal job. I've told the story a million times, so I won't tell the whole thing, but I very much went through a bunch of different, sorry about that, Joe. Went through a bunch of different manufacturers and talked to them in the US and China. And QSP was the only one that really ended up making sense. And the main reason, if you look right there in the middle of the screen, that pivot that they did the milling on and the cockpit fuller area on the blade, they were the only ones that actually told me they could really do what I was asking for. Everyone else wanted to make major changes to both of those things. And, it was a no-brainer for me. And after seeing them make the EMP EDC Nimble, the Solaris from David Blade Banter, the Orion Solaris, and many, many others of their knives, I just was absolutely sold that they were the ones to do this knife.
Once I understood that it was a P51, it intrigued me even more. And I think I messaged you and shared this when we were in a cleaning company.
Yes, sir.
One of our clients was David Marco. David's dad invented the soft contact lens. And we were very honored to do, but he had a hanger, and my guy had it was the grand champion in 90 and 91 P51 Mustang.
Wow.
And he had 4 or 5 P51 engines that this dude was loaded. Obviously.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Just an awesome guy. And I've been intrigued with it ever since. The knife shape, I love the design. I like the fuller. I like the choil. Tell me about the clip, because I noticed a while ago on the pocket clip. Give me some details on that.
Let me see if I can.
And there's another Hogue Deck eye stuck in there. Sorry about that. There's one with a clip in there somewhere. You can kind of see it. But okay, so here's the deal, Scab. When you're making a knife, you want to make it the things that you think work the best. And one of the things I don't like, especially on a titanium frame lock, is when there's this hard titanium clip. Because what happens, if you've seen here, I've contoured the scales, and what I was afraid of is having this hard, non-movable, non-flexible clip that started to eat into your hand when you're trying to use and work with the knife. And so two things. Number one, I love how a wire clip comes all the way to the butt of the knife like that. And number two, it's flexible. So when I go to push down on that, there's a little bit of give there on that pocket clip, and it never ends up being a hot spot for me. So that was my decision. Now, while we're on the clip, and Joe, hopefully you guys can see these on my lousy camera, but if anybody does not like those clips, I made them the exact same size as a Spyderco wire clip. And there's a guy named Casey Lynch, of Lynch Northwest. And Casey makes Spyderco titanium wire replacement clips. They look like a regular titanium clip. And he makes them in all kinds of colors. So if somebody wants a blue one, a pink one, an orange one, a green one, or whatever,
you change it up.
He makes them. You can easily, all you do is take that one screw right up by my finger there. You don't even take it all the way out. You loosen the screw, you pull that clip out, you slide this one in, you tighten the screw back down. Same thing you would do. It's also, it can go left-handed. So you could just take that off, tighten the screw down, loosen the other one, slip it down, tighten it up, and it's that easy.
I like it. I like it because it looks like you can push it down in your pocket.
Very much so.
There's a lot of knives that because I wear a lot of BDUs and things like that for work, and or jeans, and you can't. I loathe a knife that's so tight that you've got to pry it. Especially if it's a knife that's considerable amount of money. I don't want to jam something in there, and I do. So I like the concept. Tell me about the steel. Listen, before you do that, I'm going to ask you basic questions. So if you cover them, but I just want to kind of go through the entire knife.
You're good, man. So a lot of people have asked the question about the steel, and I got to be honest with you, Scab. This is Joe and I were talking before we came online. I went back and forth 100 times on what materials to use on this knife. I took a lot of advice, and this is where I landed because of the advice. I love M390, which is what this steel is to me. And by the way, I had experienced QSP's M390 on a couple of occasions. I felt like their heat treat was really good on it.
That's important.
And so and it made me feel real good because I had done some serious cutting with it, and it was holding an edge. And I was adamant. They wanted the blade to be thicker. They wanted the stock to be thicker because of the fuller. They came to me and said, can we go 3.5 millimeters? And I'm like, look, I want 3.2. And they're like, the fuller's not going to be deep enough. Right. And I'm telling you right now, it's deep enough. It is not a problem to get my finger in there and flick the knife out, or my thumb in there and flick the knife out. And they did an outstanding job with that. But M390 is just, Scab, to me. It's a premium. It's a super steel, but it's more than anything. It's a steel that takes and holds an edge, and you can strap it back to life fairly easily. And sharpening it is not, like a whole day ordeal. There are knife steels out there that it's just, they're so hard. You're at it for a long time. You can put an edge back on this pretty quickly. And I've done that on this one. And it's just an easy steel to work with for me. The other thing I was going to say is, if you watch some of the reviewers, there's two of them that have done pretty good on camera cut testing, Stasa 23 and Bob, the Knife Junkie. And if you just watch their cutting, it's a laser beam. It just is. It's a flat ground, not full, high flat ground. I thought about doing a hollow grind, but I talked myself out of it because I wanted people like you, Scab, to be able to use the knife and not worry about it being so thin behind the edge that you're going to chip it out.
Yes.
And those are just the thing is, you can't, if you've been into knives for a while, I can't make a knife without, what's the word I'm looking for? Without using the knowledge that you've gained. And to me, this knife is all the things I really love. the ergonomics of the handle. You talked about the choil. A 50-50 choil, to me, I call it 50% on the handle, 50% on the blade, is just money for me. It's perfect to get up on here, put my finger up here on this. I love a thumb ramp. Ergonomically, both, you know, pretty much everybody that's had it has said it's one of the most ergonomic knives they've felt. So, you know, it's just, I'm trying to get that word out because, okay, so there's two things, and I'm an elephant in the room guy. I don't hold back. There are people that have said they don't like the design because it looks gimmicky. Okay. And I think Bob, the knife junkie, put it best. He said, this is not just a pretty face. Okay. I get it. It's different. It's something you haven't seen before, but at the end of the day, it is a working man's knife. This is a knife that's going to sit in your hand and it's going to cut. Just, you know, I guess there's my spiel on that.
What I like about it is, the fact that you went for a certain design of the knife and you wanted to portray something with it. But seeing you hold, I can imagine holding it in hand, but seeing you holding it in your hand, having that thumb ramp and having that finger choil there, it looks incredibly comfortable, you know, to be even doing like fine cutting with it. I mean, it looks great.
Right. And so one of the you're exactly right. And then you've got this, which to me,
that's
again,
titanium, right?
Right. And correct titanium with an orange peel texture to it.
Yeah.
When the first time I ever got sent a knife with a taper back here on the handle, I was like, I'm going to hate this. And it is still one of my favorite knives in my collection. I love the way a tapered handle like that locks you in. It forces you into that choil, not forces you, but it tilts your hand in such a way that you know that choil is just as it should be, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wish I could have got one of these out to you guys. I just didn't have enough to get out everywhere. So it's just.
Well, I'm probably not the guy you want to send it to right up front.
I wanted to live, right, Scab? No,
let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
The gimmicky. Okay. What other criticism other than that have you taken? So because you're putting yourself out there, that's why I'm asking.
No, that's been the big one, and that's only been really recently as it's gotten to some of the bigger channels. When you get to some of these channels that have 60, 50, 60, 70 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, you're getting to a lot more people that, I mean, they don't know who I am from Adam. Thankfully we've got people in our little knife community that know who I am and listen to me and actually know that I'm telling them the truth when I say this is not just because it's my knife. It fits well. But some of the other guys, it's just that thing of being, I don't like a knife that isn't a knife. And I'm like, well, so how isn't this a knife exactly? So that's been the big one. The other, I wouldn't call it a criticism, but the other little, two little nitpicks, and I'm changing one of these in the final version, and I've decided to leave the second one alone because I don't want to start from scratch. Does that make sense? I want to move forward. So but the one that I really heard people on was the termination at the plunge is not super clean. There's not a sharpening choil to speak of, but I was acting with the finger choil as this sharpening choil. So what I'm doing is I'm going to lengthen this out ever so slightly to give that a hard edge to that plunge grind. So in sharpening, it's not a problem. However, I am just going to throw this out there. Jared Neve, who is a Neve's Knives, sharpening genius, sharpened the one he had. And he said, really, even though I complained about it, once I actually sharpened it, it wasn't a problem. So, what's that?
What's the heat treat on it?
Oh, you mean, what is the Rockwell hardness?
I'm sorry.
That's a mistake of the first time designer here. That's a mistake I made. So I just assumed that QSP would just do a rock wall hardness test. And you shouldn't assume these things. So when I asked them for it, they said, well, you didn't ask us for that. And by that time, the knives were already in transit. And so based on where the nimble from EMP EDC was, I think it's going to be in the range of 60 to 62.
So okay,
yeah. So again, I think that's fair to say it'll be in that range. But and I'll tell you, Scab, the thing is, if people go watch Stas's video, he cut everything in his garage. I mean, the guy just brought out one of everything and cut it. And he said he was cutting with 5 knives that day, and it performed the best. And 3 of the 5 were production company, like large production company knives, and it outcut them. So I'm not worried about the heat treat, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, right. But you know, some people, one of the things we've talked about in this process, I know I've seen some of my a couple of the people that are in on the knife buying one, like Rusty Knife Lovers in here, and one of the things we've talked about, you know, that the steel supplies are going a little wonky right now. And some people were saying, well, why don't you switch to 20 CV, or why don't you switch to, the thing is, I know what I have. Okay. Right. So I think I would rather wait a little while for M390 treated the way that I've seen it treated than try a different steel after people already order it. So we're going to stick with M390 and we'll just push them as hard as we can to get.
Listen, you go with the strengths of also the company that you're dealing with.
Oh, 100%.
If you have, I mean, the same, I mean, I agree with you 100%, because if I'm dealing with a certain company, you know, be it swords or whatever it is, if they have a history of dealing with a certain steel and they do it well, it's, you know, listen, I think any steel can be a super steel because it's in the hands of the heat treater and the smith.
Well, it's just like
do the right job with it.
Right.
It's going to be fantastic.
It's just like Rowan, the company that makes Essie knives.
Yeah.
I mean, they only use 1095. Why? Why do they only use 1095? Because it's what they know how to treat. It's what they know how. Buck. Right. Buck. Right. Exactly.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's, I'm definitely going to stick with it at this point and move forward.
Well, you can't. The deal is this. I was just sitting there playing with my Billy Watt. It's M390. I'm a big fan of M390. I have the Medford Praetorian T and S90V that Cap gave to me, and I love it. I have this. I've got a bunch of CPM 20 CV and all that. But I found that, like with the M390, like you said, it's a lot easier to strop. Like your S90V, you're not stropping back.
Oh, I mean, no. I have one S90V knife, and I've already experienced that. I'm sitting here going, wow. Okay.
But now I love it. I love it. But you got to know, you got to know. And I'll say this, and then I'll let Joe jump in. Everything, and I'm not saying this because you're on. I'm not saying this because I like you. I'd tell you if I didn't like the knife. Everything that I see with the knife is things in a pocket knife I like. I like a ramp. Now, jimping's fine, whatever, but I like a ramp, and it's just because of the way my hands are.
Right.
After years of doing dumb shit, they're busted up. I like a ramp. Yeah. I love a choil. And I'll say this, not everybody's the expert with a knife, okay? There are guys who are woodsman, craftsman, Blackie Thomas, who could make a damn butter knife look like a scalpel.
Right.
But this is a knife that you could hand to anybody. They could use it because it does have, to me, the 50-50 choil I love. I love the thumb ramp. Most people don't know how to hold a knife. So what you've done is you put 2 cheats on there. So you could hand it to somebody that's, I would hand it to my grandson and be fine with him as long as I'm there, because we can slide his hand up and Daddy's watching. So I love everything, and I love the history of the P51. Now with the titanium, titanium,
yes, sir.
And that can be anodized if somebody wanted to anodize it, correct?
Oh, absolutely. So originally when I first designed this, I actually had some of the pieces. So everything on here is titanium except the clip. So the pivot, the screws are titanium. Now I will say, just so for clarity, the barrel inside the pivot is stainless because they had to do that for strength. But the outside of the pivot is titanium. So yeah, any of that. Originally, I had made parts of it already pre-anodized, and then I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
People can do whatever they want. I saw a guy today, I kid you not, or was it yesterday? His name is Jared White from Budgeteer Blades. He had River's Edge Cutlery does I didn't even know this, a Cerakote and an anodization with like the Army colors. It's like that Army green with the star, and then the A10 nose, the shark, the teeth and everything. He did that on a Spidey Chef. And it looked unbelievable. I'm like, if I had done colors, it would have been harder.
Yeah.
This way, people can do whatever they want with this knife. And I think I've already got all kinds of ideas for what I would do with the ones I'll have. So I've actually thought about if I end up with some extras, I may go get some anodized some neat ways and like sell those, for a premium or something. I don't know. But that was one of the definite ideas there. You asked a question a minute ago, and something just popped into my head when you said something else. You said, what other criticisms? So I got a picture of the P-51 Mustang right here. I know exactly what a P-51 Mustang looks like. So here's the criticism. When it started getting out to World War II buffs and people like that, they were like, that's not shaped the same as the cockpit on the P-50. Look, I've said all along, it was inspired by. I had to still make it a knife shape.
Right.
Okay. I couldn't make it, the exact dimensions and shape of a P-51 cockpit. So that's kind of the other criticism I took was, this and that and the other. And, kind of some people, Rusty will tell you, some people have kind of taken it and done their own description of it. It's funny because if you look at that picture Joe's got there, you'll see on the back of the blade, there's this little piece that sticks up right here. That's just the trend when you're open. I mean, it's the transition between the blade and the handle. And it kind of sticks up a little bit right there. And so some people thought that was the trunk of an M1 Mustang. And that's cool. Right there you go. Joe shows it right there. And I think that's cool. Some people have said it looks like a performance racing speedboat. I think that's cool. Anything speed is right up my alley. So
listen, like you said, it was inspired by it. So, but
100%.
Naturally, people are going to take it too literally, and it's the critics.
I'm like,
always going to be out
well,
there.
if you want to be picky, I guess I should have put machine gun ramps right here or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
That's not a criticism. That's somebody. That's just somebody not going to buy the knife.
Right. He had already said some pretty negative things when he said that, so I was like, he's not buying it. So I'll just go, hey, to each their own, man. It was inspired by. I did my best.
Yeah. Well, I have a question.
Yep.
Are those broadcast cameras down there?
Yeah, they are.
There you go.
Those are. I wondered why you paused on that picture for so long.
Because I wanted to ask you for a little bit.
Those are Sony HXC 300s, I believe.
Without the lenses. Those are just
without the lenses. These are actually being taken out of service. Okay. So they're old and kind of beat up, and we actually went back with Sony FB80s, and these are being life cycled out and probably sold away.
They got so compact, huh? These broadcast cameras.
Oh yeah.
I worked with tube cameras back in the day.
Me too.
Those things were tremendous with the Cine 60 belts.
Oh yeah.
Some barrel bricks. Okay.
I'm glad there's somebody that remembers those belts, man.
Oh, I worked with tube. I worked with chip. Before I went to chip, I had tube cameras, big, huge.
Oh yeah.
JVCs, the orange ones.
Yep.
The big monstrosities.
I had the Ikigami cameras like that. And then hold on, an umbilical cable to on the other shoulder, a 3/4 inch portable deck that you were recording to. Yeah. Right. And the belt. So you at any time you had close to 100 pounds of crap
100 pounds
strapped on you.
Man, all the time.
Yeah, People ask why I'm so skinny. That's why I still lug this stuff
That's
around.
why I got
do it
bad
on
knees. I used to shoot on my knees with all
Same
that
thing.
rig on a granite floor.
I have a bad shoulder for that very reason. So too much cameras on the shoulder. So
I
yeah.
gotcha.
But yeah, that's exactly a pallet full of cameras to go bye.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Anything I missed here.
So real quick, in case people are asking, you kind of told me to do my thing a little bit, Scab Joe. Do you have the link to the Kickstarter you can put up at some point, or can I put that in here? Or
yeah, if you have the link, you could probably get it a little quicker. Put it into the
Well,
comments.
I don't know if it'll let me do it or not. We'll see if it lets me. Tell you what. Here's what I'll do. I'll stick it in the private chat, and then you can copy and paste it from there.
Copy and paste it over.
Yep, cool. There you go. So I just want to talk about that for a minute, because Rusty will tell you that's where 2/3 of the questions have come through from on this. People that like the knife don't understand Kickstarter. And, the reason I did Kickstarter, let me just do that for a minute, was as a new knife guy, a new company, I didn't want to do a pre-order and take a bunch of people's credit cards myself. And then if I didn't sell enough, have to figure out how to refund them all. What Kickstarter does is Kickstarter will take the money, and what they do is this. Okay, so if you go there today and you put in your credit card and you say, I want to support this Kickstarter, they don't take anything. They just take your credit card number. Now, tell you what, Joe, if you don't mind, I'm going to do something. I'm going to hijack your show for a second. I'm going to share my screen for a second because, and I know I can do this because I've used this. So here's the Kickstarter. So we're at halfway today. Exactly. We're at 61 backers, 14,000. We're at halfway on this. But what happens is, so there are two options left to, there are three options left to support the project. Okay. Number one is you can just donate to the project because you want to help me out and you believe in what I'm doing and you don't want to spend $255 on a knife, but you want to give $10, $5, $15, $20 to the project. Okay. So that's the first option. The second one, I'm sorry, I'm moving the wrong thing. The second one is you can do $255. It gets you one knife, a sticker of the company, Tempest Knives. It comes in a drawer style box, and it will be shipped to you for that price. Okay. And if you buy that, that's what you get. And then the last one is $430. You get two of the knives, which, by the way, if you break that down, you get either, you can look at it two different ways. Either you get the first one for $255 and the second one for $175, or you get you get both of them for $215 each. So that's a heck of a cut for buying two. And I'm trying to just make it affordable. I had a lot of people ask me about buying two. Since I put that second option up there, I've only had one person actually do it, but hopefully that'll change at some point. But what I was trying to say though is if you go up here and you click back this project, when you do that, it's going to take your information, but it is not going to charge you until two things happen. Okay. Number one, I have to meet the goal. Okay. So at the moment that we meet the goal, then now all we're waiting for is the date, which is February 26th at 4 p.m., which you see down here. Saturday, February 26th at 4 p.m. So you can put your card now and you are not going to be charged until A, the project is funded for the $27,990, and B, that date of February 26th at 4 p.m. has happened.
Okay.
So and what happens here? Somebody asked me today. So what happens if you get $24,000 and you don't make your goal? Kickstarter gives me nothing and they don't charge anyone anything. Okay. That's exactly what happens. Okay.
So it's just a pledge. It's just
right.
A pledge.
It's a pledge and I don't get anything if it doesn't happen. And, and then, I either go back to the drawing board or go away. One of the two. No, I'm just kidding.
I have a question. You probably explained it already. If someone puts in a pledge for $20, $40,
yep.
Can they turn that amount into maybe pay the extra amount to actually purchase the knife? Like, can they take that
before
as a credit
before it closes?
Before it closes.
Yeah. So, and by the way, I should explain that too, because I added that 2-for-1 thing after the fact, because people had asked me, and so people are asking the same question: if I've already bought one, can I now switch and buy two? And the way it works is, see, again, you haven't been charged yet. You go in and cancel your one.
Right.
And then you change it to the two. So in the same case, if they give $20 now and on the 24th they decide they want to buy a knife, they cancel the $20 and change it to a knife. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep. So that's how that works. I had to ask that question because I didn't know. Yeah, Rusty's telling you he's number 9. So I did an early bird special. The first 30 got the knife for $230, and they're getting a special sticker that I'm having made for the knife model itself. Matter of fact, I think that's getting here tomorrow, Rusty, but I'm not going to show you. But so it's just one of those things. A lot of people don't understand Kickstarter, so I thought I'd at least try to explain that. But yeah, that's what that is.
I think it's clear as a bell for me now. I hope it's pretty clear for everybody else. Yeah, because I had some questions about the Kickstarter, but I think you explained it pretty well.
Well, I think the purpose of going with it, again, it protects me, because I'm not taking your credit card and ended up hosed, and it's protecting you.
Right.
Because, I'm not taking your credit card. I'm not keeping your credit card information. I'm not, that they're going to keep your credit card info. They have all the firewalls and security and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the day, I get the money. And then I send the money off to QSP and they build knives. And at the end of, again, this is a pre-order. So at the end of, at the end of it, I get the money, then they get the money, they build the knives, they send them when they're done, and I get them to you quickly. So,
right. But once you meet your quota and the knives pretty much go into production. So then
correct.
You can order on a normal basis.
Now, again, back to what I was saying earlier, there may be a slight delay for steel supply, and I don't know yet. They just got back yesterday from whatever it's called. What's it called? Chinese New Year. So they're checking on steel supplies now, and they're supposed to let me know something. But I'm giving them a little bit of time to
ask me
try
how
to
long I've been waiting for swords.
Oh, good grief! You wait for, I bet, because swords are a one at a time thing. I would think. Yeah,
9 months on one of them.
Whew.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Sinister. He says he thinks he's number 16, Sweet 16. I think you are as well. That sounds right. But yeah, I mean, I'm really appreciative of the people that are in there, and that's kind of. I told Joe before we started this, that's kind of why I asked you guys if I could come on, because there's people like Rusty, people like Sinister there, Duke, JB, all these people are rooting for me. They really want this to happen. The people that have seen the knife for a long period of time, they really want one. And so they want me to get out of here to the rest of y'all and say, help, buy a knife.
And it's great. You're a knife guy. You're a visionary. So, you know what? It could be a long road for you as far as, designing, knife after knife. And that's great. So
that's the hope, man.
I really hope this takes off for you, man.
I have, whoops, now papers fell out of it. But anyway, this book right here is full of designs. There are, I think the next one's going to be a budget design. I haven't firmed it up yet, but I have a really good idea that I've shown some people, a few friends, and I also have 2 fixed blade designs I want to get done. Awesome. And my goal for the fixed blade designs is to have them done in America. I really wanted to get when I started this, I wasn't going to do it unless I could do it in America. But guys, I'm telling you, with the CNC that are in designs like this, there are not many American companies that have the ability to do that. And if they do, this knife would have been a $500 knife, because I talked to 2 companies in America that probably could have done it. If I named them, you'd know exactly who they were, but I'm not doing that, so don't ask. And they, the prices were just, they weren't going to work. Chuckin' Steel. This is the Tempest Knives Mach 51 M390 steel, titanium, and Scab. The other thing I was telling Joe before we got on here that I almost forgot to mention is this guy hits what a lot of knife ratio nerds love. So it is a 3.5-inch blade, and it's exactly 3.49 ounces. Okay. So it's got that ounce per inch. And the way we did that was there is a ton, I don't have my flashlight down here, ton of routing, milling inside the handle scales. When I told them how many pockets I wanted, I think they thought I was crazy. But yeah, that's the way you get a knife. And when I pick it up, I'm like, it's balanced. It feels good. Oh, by the way, Scab, you were talking about the grip. If somebody doesn't like a choil, you can grip this knife back here. Right. There's plenty of room.
A lot of
you're a little ways away from the blade at that point. So it's not the way I would use the knife. I like to be up here where I'm at one, me and the blade are one thing, but you can. If you don't like being up there on the blade, this feels good back here as well.
It's the perfect size. I mean, you got a 4.5-inch handle, 3.5-inch blade, which is, I mean, I can speak for myself in New York. That's a perfect blade size for me. And yeah, it does look like a knife for everybody. Anybody could kind of put that in their hands and be comfortable with it.
That's the idea.
I'm definitely digging it.
Yeah, and again, it is it's 3.2 millimeters, which translates to 0.13 of an inch, I believe it is. Gosh, I don't have it in my head right now. I keep going by millimeters because that's the way I talk with QSP. But yeah, so it's super thin. It's not quite atom thin. The TRM atom is what is that, 0.11 or something like that, so of an inch. So this one's not quite that thin, but it's plenty thin and slicey.
There was a close-up of the blade with the grind on the blade, which I'm trying to find it. I want to put that on screen because it's really impressive, the different grinds on the blade.
And yeah, I really love their satin finish on the blade. It's to me, and again, my camera, there you go. Yeah, and by the way, that's a hank that a guy named Steel Capital made and sold for people that were interested in the knife. Right. So there's a bunch of people out there with that hank. Really cool. Got P51s all over it there, so you can't. And by the way, Scab, there you go. That's what the shape would have had to have looked like to make it the exact cockpit. And I just didn't think that was a knife shape, so I didn't go with that.
You did what you had to do. I mean,
yep.
Anybody can look at it and see. And in all honesty, when I first saw it, I was thinking car. And then when you said P51, it fits. It's inspired by. It really is a beautiful blade. I like the swedge. I like that.
That was we kind of tweaked that a little bit. They didn't like the way I had it. I had it a little bit different than that originally, and that was one place where I took their expertise and they said we think this will work better with the grind, and they were spot on. So and I don't know about you, Scab, not Stab, but Stab would work. We could call you Stab. That would work. It's a knife channel.
You've been called worse.
Wow, I've had a long day, guys. I'm my two favorite blade shapes are a simple drop point and a spear point, and I just this is more of a modified spear point because it's not dead centered, but yes. it's a spear point. So I know a lot of guys these days are running towards sheep's foots and Warncliffes and cleavers and whatever else, but I mean, if just for work, that blade shape right there, that spear point is absolutely perfect for me.
It actually looks, I'm sitting here looking at the point, looking at the pivot. It looks like
close.
It's pretty much, yeah. Which makes for a good stabber, actually.
And we've got lots of people in the chat talking about the mods they're going to do to the knife, and that excites me. You're not going to hurt my feelings, guys, at all. Whatever you want to do, I want to see it.
Well, that's if you're going to put the time and effort and money into a knife,
yep,
I would want people to mod it as well. Make it your own. Make it what you want to do. It's a unique knife. How long is the handle?
4.5 inches. So it's an 8-inch overall knife. So you can see here, I have basically 4-inch hands. And when you're choked up, because you're actually beyond that, because you're on the blade a little bit. So you got quite a bit sticking out the back there. If you're choked up, and again, 4-inch hands, I don't know what yours would be, Scab, but yeah, I am too, DJ, very much.
DJ, check your damn Instagram. People are messaging you, asshole.
Yes, DJ, please check your Instagram. People are messaging you, DJ Horn. I'm calling you out.
Casey, are you familiar with DJ?
I've seen some of his stuff, but I'm not. We haven't talked or anything now.
DJ is a sharpener, but he's worked for several OEMs. He was with Southern Grind before they sold.
Oh, okay.
And done several things. So he's kind of my go-to. Well, he is my go-to when it comes to sharpening, fixing my screw ups, all of that. And he does, he actually, we're talking about anodizing.
I like his comment there. That's kind of funny. I'm taking the whole month off social media. Oops.
Yeah, but go back just to check your messages every once in a while, DJ, please.
DJ actually did the anodizing on this one. And I can't ever find the.
Let's see what you got. Oh yeah, I love, and you know me, I love blue. So
well, here's the deal: it's blurple. When you see it on camera, it looks blue with a splash of purple.
Yep.
When you see it in person, it's purple with a splash of blue.
Okay.
And I had it done purple for my boy E that passed. Purple was his favorite color.
Oh wow!
But DJ sent me that chart. It's insane. The choices, guys, if you do get one and you do want it anodized, the choices, they cover every color in the spectrum, man. It's crazy what can be done. Crazy. Yep. Joe,
I'm having a clip done right now by a friend, and he's doing one in a lightning anno blue for me for my Finch drifter. Nice. So I can't wait to get that in.
Nice.
Yep.
Joe, when we post this, let's try to put a link to Stas's video. His review.
Yes. Okay.
And just give people another look at it. I mean, the more we can put it out there, the better.
And you got the link to the Kickstarter, right, Joe? I didn't notice if you put it up there. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, he did. He put it up earlier.
Cool. Yeah, I was too busy running my mouth to.
Yeah, I'll try to see. We'll communicate after, and then I'll get all the links that I need.
Yeah, absolutely. I can send you whatever you need.
Page and all
the thing is, what I like about Stasa, I've watched him on a lot of knives just simply because he's going to use a knife, but he's not going to abuse the crap out of it. Not talking about anybody in the chat here, of course. No, I'm just kidding. But I got to tell you, he asked me. He said you can choose. Like he gave me a little rate card. Not really, but he said you can choose a couple things here. You can either let me cut with your knife, and I can do a full review of the knife, or you can just let me look at it and play with it. And then I can do like a first impressions kind of video. I said, Stasa, it's not even a question. I want you to do a full review of the knife. He goes, a full review. And I go, okay, so here's where I draw the line. And he goes, what? I said, I've seen your videos where you bash a knife into an aluminum rod. Please don't do that. This is a prototype. And I said, other than that, do what you want to do. And he goes, okay. So he feather sticked the 2x4. He cuts rubber and leather and jean material and I don't know, cardboard and paper and these tubing, like rubber tubing reinforced with mesh and rope and you name it. And then Bob the Knife Junkie was the other one, and I couldn't believe it. He took like the bottom of a leg of a pair of sweatpants and rolled it up and bent it in half and just went right through it. Just like nobody's business. And I'm like, because I'm watching this video wondering what's going to happen here, and it just goes right through it. No hesitation whatsoever. Yeah, Sinister says he did rope, and he did a little bit of everything.
You do the things that you're going to use a pocket knife for.
I agree. I mean,
that's, I don't abuse knives, especially.
No, you don't. You
knives. Well, I try not to. So, earlier. And when I started, I was like, which way we're going to go. And then I talking to Bill Harsey a couple times and just talking to Mr. Bill, abusing a knife does nothing. It shows nothing. It shows you're a dumbass. It shows you can get hurt. It shows
right.
People not what. And then I realized, and I'm being serious, I realized that I had a lot of younger folks watch the channel. I don't want to do something with a knife that I wouldn't want, Joseph my nephew to do. You know, he's 15. You know, I've seen Uncle Scab do it. So you test knives the way they should be tested. You cut, and with that knife, I wouldn't hit anything. I would cut as much material as I could find.
Right.
I think that's the way you do it.
Yeah, and that's very much what I believe as well. I mean, you really want to, I mean, use the knife for what you're supposed to use it for. Now, I will say this, Scab, for you, this would be a better choice for you than say this. I just happened, look, I'm not picking on this knife, but just a liner lock to me for what you do is not necessarily, when you get down to some of these that are a super thin lock, maybe for the kind of stuff you do wouldn't be the best choice. You know what I'm saying? And I like the petrified fish beluga for just like, you know, EDC use. But with a frame lock, now you've got much more girth sitting on that blade, and it is not going to come back on you. Right. I'm not worried about it at all. Look at that lockup. And all three of them were like that. All three of the prototypes.
The tighter you grip it too. I am a frame lock. I'm a frame lock fan. And in all fairness, if a liner lock is done correctly, it's fine. However,
I agree.
It goes back to using the knife for what it's for. And there's certain times,
I agree completely.
Especially like being at work, there's certain times if I just grab my knife, you know, I'm not being choosy. So I prefer a frame lock or triad or something, or axis or something.
Of course, like yeah.
But I like frame lock for that. I like frame locks in titanium. So I think that's a very, very good choice.
Cool.
Very good choice.
Yeah, and again, that's sorry, I was searching for something. I was going to try to send Joe something here, and I'm getting distracted. I shouldn't do that. But you know, I guess the best way to look at it in my world is exactly, I mean, what are we really doing with these knives? Whoops. Sorry. What are we really doing with these knives? I mean, are we really trying to, you know, hammer nails in with them and pry stuff with them? I hope not. You know, for me, this one, I've used it for a ton of stuff. Now, one of the things I tend to do a lot of these days is breaking down large cardboard boxes. When equipment comes in, I'm mowing through. And let me just tell you, and again, Bob the Knife Junkies video, he'll tell you the same thing. This one just mows through cardboard. It's just like, it's not even there. So love it, love it, love it. So that's all I was trying to get to there.
Well, honestly, I mean, if we're going to be honest, I'd say the normal person, and I'm not talking about knife demonstrations or reviews, but just the normal person,
right?
The main thing you're going to do is cut cardboard or open a letter or zip ties or what have you. But you're not, you know, this whole thought, well, I got to be able to survive with it. Really?
Yeah, not really. I like your little your zip tie test. I do like that.
I've when I started it, I thought, well, here's something cool to try. But then I had a lot of people go, hey man, you don't know how many knives I've messed up on zip ties. So thank you for doing that. But that goes back to Rockwell hardness, heat treat, that kind of thing as well.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I like it. So if you had to put one word, and I know that's not always easy, but if you had to put one word on the knife, what would you put? And you can explain it. You can explain it, but give me one word.
I think for me, the word is sleek. And I just, again, for me, when I'm holding the knife, it's all about that profile, what it feels and looks like in my hand. And I think sleek would be the word I would use. You know, that's just the first one that came to mind. Yep.
I like it.
So, yeah. And again, I tried really hard to do things like contouring the scales. Flat scales to me don't always make sense. There are knives that make sense with flat scales, but and again, you're gonna pay a little bit more for a contoured knife. It's more time in the CNC machine. It is. So that's why so many companies don't do it. Like if you look at this $50 Kubi right here, flat scales. There's nothing wrong with his knife, okay, except for the fact that it's a little ugly. But you know, flat scales, you can still get a good grip on them, but there's just something about scales with that rounded, contoured, and that's where sleek comes in as well. It just feels like it's meant to fit in my hand.
So so with this knife, you didn't just have a design shape in mind. You didn't have, I think this would be a cool knife. You've obviously put thought, a lot of years of thought into it.
No, it just seems like you had a concept of what a perfect knife. Well, nothing's perfect in life.
Yeah.
But a close to perfect knife that you would want to have in your hands. And that's what you put into the design. I mean, that's definitely apparent.
So I tell people I drew knives for like 2 or 3 years, and I never had something that jumped off the page as, man, I got to produce this. It was just, oh, that's neat. I like it. Oh, that's neat. And then one day I was sitting here and I tell people I was playing with a knife that had a fuller in it, and I was really enjoying flicking it. By the way, this is the 3D prototype that I had done in plastic just to see how it would fit in my hands before I went to the. I'm sitting here playing with that for the heck of it. But
frame that if this goes through,
yeah, exactly.
Frame, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So except for the fact that it's held together with toothpicks right now because I couldn't find screws to fit the holes. They didn't route them out right. So yeah. So so basically I had done these designs. I sat here one day and I'm like, what could I do with a fuller? And I just started thinking about it. And for some reason I got frustrated. And I went over the internet and I did what I always do. I started looking at pictures of things. And the first thing that popped up in my feed were airplanes, because I look at airplanes all the time. And I went, oh crud. And I typed in P-51 Mustang and I went to the cockpit and I went, bang, and that's literally what happened is I had a knife. Okay. The knife was there for a long time, but and maybe I'm too sensitive about this, but I didn't want to design a knife that you guys would go, oh, that looks like a Sabinza, or it looks like a Hogue whatever, or it looks like a Spyderco this, or it looks like I for one thought, out of respect to all these designers, that it was up to me to design something that was unique and different, but not so different that it wasn't usable. And that was where my head was. You don't want to know the second thing. I don't know what I said there, Coprolite, but what I must have missed something. Yeah, I agree, DJ Horn, and I wish I knew how to. I wish I had a 3D printer and could do them myself, because I have literally 6 or 7 other designs in here right now that I want to take to a 3D print, and I got to get over a couple of the humps, and it just takes a little longer. I work with a guy that does my CAD drawing, and then I work with another guy that does the 3D printing. So just got to go from there.
That's something that's going to become a necessity pretty soon, that 3D printing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
My kid's school just got a 3D printer and they're doing crazy things with it. It's pretty
right.
Nuts,
The one at the university I work for is where it was done. And he can mill titanium with it. And I'm like, really? So yeah, he wants me to come back, and he's going to make a titanium prototype just because he wants to practice with his machine. And then I will frame that, Joe. I'll have the blade will be titanium, the hand will be titanium, and it'll frame and sit back here. Yep.
That's
I got you, Steve. Said the first thing that popped up on my browser history was airplanes. ... Oh, come on, man. That's funny. So I appreciate you guys letting me come talk about it. And again, if anybody's interested in the Kickstarter, no pressure, guys. Look, I get it. We're not many people can't afford $255. I totally get it. But if you can, and it speaks to you in some way, please consider doing so.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, listen. We wanted Casey to come on, 1, because I like him. 2, because we want to help. That's what this community does. He's been up front. He's been honest. He's answered every question I've had. answered it well. I think it's something well worth supporting. I'm excited, brother. I hope you get it. I hope you do.
I hope
really
so too,
do.
man. I really do.
I hope
tell
so.
Me this,
man.
tell me this, because I know you got to go, and it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Tempest Knives, is that you?
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So QSP is the manufacturer, and Tempest Knives is just my company, Tempest Knives LLC.
Cool.
It's an official government recognized business, and it's just I'll be honest with you, Scab. I've taught you. I mean, I don't really have to say that. I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. But the thing is I picked all these great names out. I had like one with my last name in it, one with a couple different things. Everything I was finding, there was a knife company that already had that. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Even with my last name, it would have been fine, but I wanted to shorten it to a abbreviation. And there was a company out there with that, and there was a company out there. And so we're sitting on the beach one day, and no joke, a gust of wind came up. And my son looked at me and he goes, "How about Tempest Knives?" And I'm like, everybody laughed, and I went, "Perfect."
What?
I went, "You got awesome, it, son." Man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And the logo. I should hold this guy up. A friend of mine made this. The logo's like literally like a tornado. And again, some of the idea I said to people was, I'm kind of doing something a little bit different. So like a disruptive force in the knife community, if you will, if I can get it funded.
I love it.
Just doing something different. And this kid is literally like 22 years old, did that, routed it into this piece of this beautiful piece of cedar.
That's a nice piece of work.
Yeah, he did that for me. So that was really cool. So really awesome. Yes, sir.
Casey, listen, I wish you the best of luck, not only for this knife to come through, but just to pave the way for you to kind of bring all of your ideas from that book, that mystery book you got there, to kind of bring them to attrition here and bring them to the open. And definitely looking forward to what you got coming.
That's a hope, man.
I'm praying that this all really goes through for you, and I'm really looking forward to what you got coming in the works after this kind of gets funded and gets into production.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
It's nice because it's a great start, because you made a concept design of something that inspired you, but you also made it a very usable, very capable knife, comfortable in the hands, great steel. It's an all-around really good package, and I think you pretty much checked all the boxes with it, without a doubt.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys having me on very much so.
Yeah, man.
And
thank you.
And best of luck to everybody in the chat with the giveaways. That'll be awesome. And thank you, Tina, for sticking up that sub link there as well. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tina.
Yeah, come check out my channel. We have a little bit of fun over there, especially on Monday nights. We might have a little too much fun sometimes.
Casey has a great channel. If you're not subbed, I don't know why you're not. He has an awesome channel.
Thanks.
And then you go live Mondays. Do you do another live?
I do Monday nights at 8, and then I usually come on for an hour sometime Friday afternoon.
Okay.
I think we're gonna land at 1 o'clock now. I've been doing 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and it's my weekend review. And then once a month, JB joins me from Big Red EDC, and we do month in review. Absolutely. And so, the Monday nights are just kind of more of a free for all, and then I have guests on sometimes, and but a lot of times it's just me. Having a good time, so with the community. So, yep. Thanks, awesome, Keith Carpenter. Appreciate you, man. Hey, all right, guys, have a good one.
Casey, have a good one. Best of luck, guys. Yes, all the links to everything we're talking about, the Kickstarter, links to Knives Fast, everything that we spoke about is going to be in the description. After this live, we'll put everything up. And guys, if you can, go to Kickstarter. Let's support this program. And if you can buy the knife, that'll be fantastic. And you're not going to be sorry. I mean, from what I've seen and from what I've heard from you, this is definitely a winner. Really.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Casey. All right, guys. So sorry, guys. I know I see everybody in the chat. I've been reading your stuff along the way. Tina, thanks for moderating. Todd Carr, Rusty, we always love you in the room. You're always omnipresent. You're like God, Rusty. You're everywhere at the same time. I don't know how you do it. Delilah, John, Addicted to Blades 2, Dwayne. I know JR is in the room. JR has been waiting since last night. So he's been on since last night. I think he's had this.
I promise you, JR hadn't been on since last night.
No, but he put something on last night saying I'm going to start waiting now. So he had that on since yesterday.
He usually comes in right after we're done, or he'll miss it. So I'm glad, JR. I'm glad you're here. And JR, I did not forget to send you a tracking number. It's in the mail. It's due to you Friday. When we get off of here, I'll look it up, or I'll look it up in the morning. I will send you a tracking number.
Dream Creations. Who else? I think I have called Allie. Allie, welcome. Dwayne, Jeff, always welcome. Thanks everybody for joining us on Blade Talk. So this is post Florida, Scab.
It is our first.
Back to being in front of a screen, man. I wish
you were here, man.
Oh man.
Hey, here's an ass kicker. Since our last Blade Talk, I've gained 900 subs.
Yes.
So, and we're still, of course, I'm getting a couple assholes now, but what I wanted to say real quick, and I'll make it fast because I've talked the whole damn time. Guys, I know every 500 we're giving out a preacher, still are. I'm kind of waiting to see where we land because of the shipping from Nepal. I don't want to order preachers and then have to order more preachers. All this shit comes out of my pocket. I don't complain. It is what it is. But soon as the sub count slows down and we get a true number, I'll do a giveaway, and I'll do a video coming up pretty soon. We got the raffle to kick off too. I've got everything that everybody sent. It's fine. It's right there. Joe's actually seen it when he was
guys. I've seen it firsthand. There's a nice amount of raffles. I mean, he has a whole section in the war room with all the raffle stuff and boxes ready to go. So it's definitely, this is going to be a fantastic raffle. It really is.
And and the other side, Joe and I talked about it. I think we're going to do it on Blade Talk, I think. But here's the deal, guys. The damn thing's too important to hurry up. The damn thing is way too important to me to just rush. So we're going to do it right. No money comes to either one of us. No money comes to Blade Talk. No money comes to Steel Forge and Fire. No money comes to ChoirBoyz Cutlery. You donate to the charity and send us a receipt. And I was asked, well, what if somebody, scams? You don't want to do that. With something that's important to me, I'll dox your ass and lose everything I got. So I'm just saying that to say I'm not worried about it. But Keith Carpenter messaged me. He's like, man, you might want to mention that raffle. You got a bunch of new eyes. And Keith, I agree. And I will do a video in the next few days about it.
So when do you think at this point that the raffle will actually get started? When do you think that'll actually commence?
I think what we should do, Joe, is get through Friday night. So everybody in the room, we're having a Blade Talk live with Doug Ritter live. That's huge. It's massive. Knife Rights, Doug Ritter. We need
man,
you
the myth,
all
the legend,
here.
man. Yep.
Dude, we need y'all here for that. We need that bad. And then we will have, let's do this, Joe. Let's get Doug, and then let's have a phone conversation Sunday, and we'll pick a date and get going.
Yes. Yeah, we got a couple of things coming in. Matthew Jensen, I think, was scheduling up for this upcoming month. Before this month is over, we definitely want to get Matthew back in.
Yeah.
And I think my son wants to come into Blade Talk.
Yeah.
So
love to
he's
have
been
you.
asking me a couple of times. So I think I'll get my son G in. I think that should be fun.
I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely good in front of the camera, amazingly enough. So,
he does a great job, man.
He does.
Let me just say this. I don't know if Megan commented on y'all's video. That's by far, hands down, my favorite video you've done.
Oh, with the push-up.
Your fun. Yeah.
Push-up. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I love that. And Jerbs has been keeping up with his.
Yes.
So, man.
And Jerbs, you're getting stronger, man. You're getting through those push-ups good now, man.
When we have Matthew on, I talked to Matthew last night for about an hour. When we have Matthew on, remind me that just say the words ass cancer, please.
Ass cancer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to write it down because I don't think I want to forget that one.
I don't think you can forget that one.
It's for Matt. Gotcha.
Let's do these, man, and because I'm gonna eat some supper and go to bed, and I love y'all very much.
All right, so we got to. I want to do a giveaway, guys. We've been trying to do a giveaway for a little while now. It's just been, our Blade Talks have been very busy, a lot of discussions, a lot of guests coming in. So I want to try to get in. We have, I think we'll get into one and we'll save one for the next Blade Talk. So what do we have here? We have donated from the Shredder Knife Reviews from Jonathan. We have a Dozer knife from K-Bar, I believe it is. Yeah. So we're going to put this in for a GAW tonight, guys. So you guys know the rules, I think, from seeing our other lives, but generically it's the same thing. You know, over 18, I'm going to pick a number, and you guys are going to pick only one number after our beloved Tina presses start. Not yet, T. After she presses start, you're going to start picking numbers, and I will give it, let me see how many people we have in the room. Let's go from same thing as I always do. We're going to do from number 200 to 500. Any number between 200 to 500. The number, if you get the number on the nose that I choose, obviously you win the knife, but whoever comes closest to that number, either before or after, gets the we'll get that knife, and then we'll ship it out to you. So very excited to do this GAW, guys, because we've been trying to do it for a little while. It's been very busy, Scab, a little while.
It's been a busy couple days, weeks.
It's been very busy, very, very busy. So let me actually show you the knife. It's actually all packaged up, but it's a nice little knife, Scab. I really like this thing.
Yeah, Isaac, I don't know if Isaac's in the room, but Isaac sent me a bag of K-Bar pocket knives to review, and I'll be getting to them. And JR's sent me a ton of stuff, and Gene and Kayla Johnson, I've actually got the Joker up on deck. So yeah, it's a cool looking knife. I like the looks of it.
Nice. It's actually pretty comfortable in the hand. You know, I like it. It's a nice little good. It's a good little utility knife. It's got a pretty nice sharp edge. It's pretty good.
Yeah. The thing with K-Bar is they're pretty easy to sharpen.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If you got to hone it, and if not, there's DJ Horn. That's what you do there.
That's what we do. DJ, get in touch with if you're still listening, answer my Instagram message, please, my man. Takes off a month from social media. You're not allowed to do that, DJ. You can't take off from social media. We're not allowed.
He's probably resting up for Blade Show.
All right. So here we go. Tina, everybody in the room, you ready? So again, the number is going to be, you have to choose a number between 200 and 500. I am going to first write the number down. Rip this page here. And then we're off. Hold on. All right, guys, here's the number. Wrote it down. Put it here in my hat. Old JB Big Red style. All right, T, can you press put in start, and then you guys start picking a number between 200 and 500. We'll let it run for a little bit, and then we'll press stop, and then we'll tally it up. You guys help me out. Let me know who the numbers are, who got the closest, and we'll get it going. All right, Tina, press start, guys. Start picking your numbers. So let that run. Scab, I don't think I ever want to cut again, man. I got too spoiled with the Florida swamp.
You know, that's what but I was okay, DJ, I'll do it. Todd, we had a blast. You know, I was talking to Matthew when you were out there cutting. You know, you misstepped a couple times, which I tripped through the whole thing. So that's not like, oh, I'm messing with Joe. I'm not. But I was talking to Matthew about just ancient combat and how just precarious. If you think about the Romans in Teutoburg Forest, with the Germans coming downhill on uneven terrain, just when you were out there cutting, even though you were having fun, I thought, you know, if this was for real, that would be brilliant. I think you and I even talked about it.
If those palmetto trees could fight back, I would have been dead in a heartbeat. For sure.
What was your favorite, the palmettos or the vines?
I gotta say the vines. I gotta say the vines, because there's so much, the thickness in the vines, it just feels so good to cut.
Yeah.
It felt so good to cut. And it was educational for me, because you have certain mediums that you cut with your katana day in and day out. You got your tatami mats, your water bottles, your pool noodles, all that stuff. And there should be no reason why I shouldn't get through that. But to go to these hard vine materials, these thick pieces of wood, and to know that I can kind of sail through them with the right form, it was very impressive. Actually, I was impressed to see that it actually handled it as good as it was. I mean, I think honestly, my Practical XL was a lot better because it was just a bit beefier blade for that than the HTCS. But I was impressed. I was impressed that I was able to use those mediums and be able to go through it the way it was. So that was definitely an experience for me. It was educational for me to know that I could do that. So that's why I'm missing coming back there again and getting that cutting down. Tina must have told me to move down to Florida about 10 times since I came back. So T, I believe you. I hear you. I wish I could. One day.
Where we went hiking the other Saturday and sent pictures when I tagged you. That was just right there. You know how you left the hotel and that first bridge you come across?
Right.
Coming to the house?
Right.
There's a little road off to your right. I don't know if you even seen it. Yeah. We turned back in there and there's all kind of trails and stuff. And usually that's where I go to do a lot of cutting.
Hold that thought. Tina, press stop, because I think we let it run long enough. Press stop so this way I can tally it up. But go ahead. The trails.
No, there's vines everywhere.
I saw it. Yeah.
Because when you're that close to the water, to the river, it's, but yeah, it's a lot.
And I like it because you have them all in different angles. You have them hanging, you have them to the side, so you can cut. You have all these different types of cuts you can do. But you give me like 1 week of cutting there every day, man. I won't misstep anymore, man. That gapped out.
That was just part of being in the woods.
It's tough because when you're doing turns, you don't know. Everything is uneven grounds. You have rocks sticking out. You have pieces of wood. You have roots sticking out. And at every turn, you don't know where you're going. So it is. Yeah, I can definitely know where you're coming from, and that would be definitely something interesting to speak to Matt about, and maybe we can converse about that a little bit. But that's because listen, how we're cutting with our swords is flat, even grounds. It's in our own properties or whatever. And you can anticipate, there's nothing to anticipate. Everything is flat.
Right.
So that's definitely a good point.
Well, and you need to pick the number and then we can continue.
All right, guys, let me if I can find it. What the hell's my freaking, there it is. Okay, guys. So the number, and I think I know who the winner is. Here's the number, guys. 410. If you guys could help me out, because I don't feel like searching through it. Tina, can you look through it? 410 is the number, but I believe Dwayne Letterman got the closest at 407. Let me know if anybody's closer than Dwayne Letterman at 407. So 410 is the number, guys. 410. Let me know who won. I think it's Dwayne so far. Anybody get closer to 410? 402. Guys, I think it's Dwayne Letterman that won. Yeah, I think it's Dwayne Letterman that won. Absolutely. All right. So let me play this. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I'll play this. All right. So we got Dwayne Letterman. We got a winner for the GAW. Congratulations, Dwayne.
It's like weenie in the butt.
I thought that would annoy you, Scab. Dwayne, congratulations. You won this dozer knife. Very happy to put this GAW in tonight. We've been trying to get this out. We have another one that we're going to give out. We're trying to give out. We have a lot of knives actually that we're giving out, but we don't have time to do many today. But this is definitely going to come out to you. Dwayne, if you can email us at bladetalk22@gmail.com. I'll try to put that up on the screen if we can. Congratulations. Very happy you won, dude. bladetalk22@gmail.com. All right, guys. That's Dwayne. That's our email. So if you could email me all your information, and I'll get this boxed up and sent out to you, my friend. Congratulations for the win.
Good job, buddy. Congrats.
Very good, guys. So we're gonna start putting our closings in, guys. So we've been on for a little while. I know it's becoming a late night, but Scab, I miss you, buddy. I really do.
I wish you were here. The dogs do too. I think they hear your voice and keep coming in.
Are the dogs like lifting their heads? Are they around? Are they close by?
That's when y'all see me looking towards the door. Tucker keeps coming in, looking around, and this dumbass gets stuck. Shore Sharp, buddy, I'm into anything. Especially, I had lunch. I'll make this quick. I had lunch with a guy last Friday. Matthew Edged Talons is the name of his channel, and you probably gonna see him on the channel some. He's got a really, really cool cold steel collection that Nathan's Knives helped him mod. I mean, we might do something this Friday. I'd like if he's available. But he has that Asagi spear from Cold Steel. And yeah, I'll probably get into some, man, because I if it's a blade, and Joe will tell you he was in the war room. If it's a blade, I'm into it. If it's sharp or it's pointy, I like it.
There's so many more things that I would love to review. I just don't have the space, to be able to do it. I would love to start throwing. It's just it's tough. It's a tough thing to kind of. I mean, I'm like you. I like anything that's pointy. I like anything that's a weapon. But it's just a matter of being able to have the space and facilities to be able to test them and play with them and cut with them and all that. But yeah, I definitely hear you there. So how cold is it there? Tina keeps saying that I left the cold weather. What's your temperature there right now?
It's not cold.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we've had some chilly mornings. I mean, and let me say this. If y'all see a picture of me on Instagram in a long sleeve shirt, it's not because I'm cold. It's because I work and I sandblast and it'll eat me up. Right. Oh, you cold, Skip? No, I'm fat and I'm not cold. Hey, Kongs and Bases asked a question about the email, Joe.
Let me see if I can find it. It was probably up a little bit.
Tina took care of it for us.
Oh, okay, good. Thanks, T. Yeah, it's the Gmail is actually, I think it's on the description of the
I'll do it Shore Sharp
of our YouTube page. You should have, I think the Gmail is there, but it's actually for 22 a day. It's actually bladetalk22@gmail.com. So it's pretty easy to remember.
Yeah, and guys, I'm gonna grab some supper and get ready for bed. But let me just say this. Now I'll wait till another video. Thank y'all for being with us. Please be with us. It's Friday night at 7, right?
Friday night, it's either 7 or 7. I think it's 7 or 7:30. Guys, at the end of this live, I'm going to put a placeholder in for the next Blade Talk with Doug Ritter from Knife Rights. That's going to be this Friday, 2 days from now. And I think it's either 7 or 7:30. So if you can spread the word, guys, if you can share it out once I put it in, this is going to be a very important Blade Talk, not only for us but for everyone. I mean, it's Doug Ritter, guys. He's fighting for us, and I think if you like knives and you like carrying the knives and you like your rights to carry knives, and you want everything to be uniform like we all do, definitely show up and give your support to Doug and to the channel. And
good night, JR.
Let's get it going. So
yeah, y'all share it, please. It's big, and when I'm saying big, I'm not just talking about for Blade. I'm talking about for the community.
Yes, absolutely. DJ,
I'm gonna send you his number.
Okay, yeah, get me, and then we'll talk. I have an important question to ask.
All right, Richard.
So everyone that's in the room, sorry that we didn't get to the chat as much as we wanted to. We appreciate you guys being here at all our Blade Talks, all of your support. Tina, thank you so much, darling, for moderating and keeping all the riffraffs out of the room and putting up all the links. We always appreciate it, T. And I'm hoping I meet you the next time I come to Florida. We definitely got to make that a date. And guys, join us on the next Blade Talk. Thanks for joining us here. We have some other GAWs coming in. A lot of knives that we have to keep on giving out. But spread the word about Blade Talk, guys. Let's get our sub count up. We want to try to get this channel built up because, we're starting from the ground up now. So we want to try to get it built up. And guys, if you're new here as well, please don't forget our Patreon channels. Scab from ChoirBoyz Cutlery Outdoors, and mine is Steel Forge and Fire Sword and Knife. If you can go onto our channels, give us some support as well. We're all trying to grow all together. So, Scab, have a good evening, buddy. Have a good meal.
You too, man.
Thanks
Good talk. Good
here.
blade talk.
Great blade talk, guys. Thank you for being here, guys. I'm going to close it off. Have a good evening, guys, and look out for the link, the placeholder for the next blade talk coming on Friday. I'm going to try to get that in tonight. All right,
Richard, it's at 7 Friday.
Friday.
That way you
11th.
can. Yeah.
Okay. Rusty, Hollywood Tactical. I know you came in late. Thanks for coming here, buddy. Samurai Bird. We had a talk earlier. We got a lot of things to talk about, Bird. And DJ Horn, Ali, everybody, it's in the room. We love you all. Thanks for all your support, as always. Thanks for joining us on Blade Talk. And let's close it off, Scab. Have a good evening, everybody. And
Have a great night, guys. Love y'all.
Great night, guys. We love you all. Thanks.